Good evening, everyone. We will please allow us some more time. We will, allow all our rest of the participants to join the webinar, and after that, we will start with our webinar today. We'll wait for another 2-3 minutes. We'll wait for other participants also to join in today's session. A very warm welcome to all of you. We will start in another 2 minutes. We are waiting for other participants also to join in. We can still see that people are joining in from different locations. So we will wait for another 2-3 minutes. Then we will start with our today's webinar on strategic HR and analytics, the hallmarks of future focused HR leadership. Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Sunidhi. Good evening, Manohar. Hello, Garima. Good evening, Lalita. Good evening, Shashi. Please allow us one more minute to start. We will start because we are waiting for a few more participants to join in. So I think we can start with today's webinar. A very warm welcome to all of you. Good evening. And today's webinar is on the HR analytics and strategy, the hallmark of future focused HR leadership. We are excited to have you all with us today, and I hope you all are looking for an insightful session. As the workplace evolves, HR professionals are facing new challenges and opportunities. Today's webinar is designed to help us understand how strategic HR and analytics can equip HR leaders to drive meaningful impact in their organization. I am Pritish Mondal from VC Now, and it is my pleasure to introduce today's speaker, Professor Jatindar Kumar Jha. Professor Jha is a distinguished HR expert and academician with extensive experience in strategic HR and talent analytics and organizational development. As a senior faculty member at XLRi, he has played a critical role in shaping the HR curriculum, and it's recognized for his contribution to human resource capital research. Professor Jha's work, published widely in national and international journals, has had a transformative impact on HR practices in organization. In today's session, Professor Jha will share his valuable insights on the role of HR leaders in the digital age, focusing on how data-driven strategies can empower HR professionals to lead with impact and influence. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that we will have a Q&A session towards the end of the webinar. So please feel free to note down your queries as the session progresses. So without further ado, let me hand it over to Professor Jha to take us through his address on the strategic HR and analytics. Professor Jha, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pritesh, for the warm welcome, and good evening to all the participants who have spared the time for this webinar. As the title of the webinar suggests, HR analytics and strategic human resource management. So I will briefly discuss the need why there is a requirement of these two themes in the current scenario when we are talking about human resource management, in particular the future of human resource management. Let me just briefly share the context of this conversation that we are going to have for next 60 minutes. The context is, if we see the post crisis, especially the pandemic, this is the era that can be attributed to the transformation. That is the era which can be considered as the era which solely belongs to AI and data analytics. Now we have seen post-pandemic, there were lots of questions that has been raised for all departments, not only for human resource management, in management, all the departments. But in particular, human resource management has been challenged, or it has been questioned, that what is going to be the future of HR professionals, and especially those who wants to become, or those who are aiming for CHRO positions in, let's say, 10 years or 7 years or 5 years down the line. What are the competencies that they should have to excel in their career in the domain of human resource management? So then, after doing studies and then interacting with the lots of CHROs and various industry practitioners, there are two major themes, or I can say these are the two areas where all the CHROs or the coming CHROs or the coming HR professionals need to focus. One, you need to develop the strategic intent as a professional, and strategic intent in your HRM practices. And then you need to develop a suitable environment for data analytics. And then second, you need to have skill set to analyze those data. So basically, I have divided two themes into four parts. One, as an individual, what competency you need to have in strategic HR, what competency you need to have in analytics. At the same time, what organization needs to do to make the organization strategically oriented so that they can contribute in the success of the business with 100% agility and 100% effectiveness. If you see the past conversation in the domain of human resource management, the journey that we started as a personal department in 1960s, 1970s. Then with the rise of unionism in the 1970s, 1980s, in particular, I can say the militancy of unionism, where independent unions were formed within one organization in manufacturing sector. There used to be a multiple unions and collective bargaining agent. The reason is, if you see the whole industrialization phase, 1960, 70, 80 belongs to manufacturing and the core industry. So automatically the role of HR was basically confined to labor management, the union management, industrial relations, the labor laws, the compliances, managing multiple unions within the same organizations. So hence, the role and expectations that HR professionals would be required that time was compliances and process oriented. Therefore, the name of the department was the personnel manager. Then 1990s, when we opened our economic policies, we allowed the other industry to enter into our country. And with the globalization and liberalization of the economic policies, new industry emerged. 1980 to 2000, if you see, that era belongs to the service industry. Now the skill set that your HR were having, it's a labor laws, personnel management, union management, industrial relation. But the service industry said no. That is important, but that is important only in the core industry and in some part of contract management. Now what to do? Then they said, okay, you need to have some service oriented, because now we are directly dealing with the people, consulting firm, banking and finance. In particular, banking sector and financial sector contributed significantly with the help of IT and IT enabled companies. And therefore, this era belongs to IT sector. So what kind of skill set changes required? Now you are dealing with more white collar employees. You are dealing with project based what you say work arrangement, where the project manager is considered as a business manager along with HR manager role. He is also supposed to disperse because he has to choose the person, he has to allocate the work, he has to check the competency, he has to evaluate the performance of the project. Now, from compliances, which is the process oriented mindset, you need result orientation, which means as a project manager, what is the ticket size? What is the contribution of your project to the overall business? How you can bring business? Let's say all the management consulting firm, IT consulting firm, where revenue sharing model is followed, which means more business you are bringing to the company and then you are serving the client, a percentage of that is shared with all the employees who have done that project, which means now suddenly the role of HR has changed from process orientation to result and outcome. But again, it was confined only to the service industry consulting firm majorly. Then 2003, the IT sector busted. And as we know, the law of conservation of energy says energy cannot be created or destroyed, rather it can be transformed from one form to another form. Same rule applies again metaphorically to the industry as well and the same business as well. So now the suddenly this sector which was busted, ITS, if this sector has busted, definitely it has given birth to multiple industries. Now from say 2003 to 2010 or 7-8, before this global recession, which was attributed to the financial sector, Lehman Brothers crisis and other this thing, financial sector and in particular service industry and there itself hospitality sector. Hospitality sector were growing like anything. So now my HR competencies and HR skill was little professional. So what we did, we divided the HR function into various functions: the recruitment, the selection, the performance management, compensation, career management, and data analytics, because that was the beginning of analytics in the domain of human resource management, because we were getting lots of data. And these service industry, IT industry, naturally they were capturing the data in their system. For instance, if you want to measure the performance of a pilot, it is captured in the system. It is called electronic performance management system. So data is already there. If you want to measure the performance of a, even let's say shop floor worker, it is captured in the system. If you want to calculate or measure the performance of, let's say, banking professionals, it is captured in the system itself. So that was the beginning of analytics in the domain of HR. But the form of analytics was electronic performance management system, where devices were capturing or storing the data of the human being. That was the beginning data set that we had. Now moving on, after 2000, what happened? Again, a new type of industry emerged. And the first time we all heard industry called application-based industry. First time we came to know about Ola, Uber, Swiggy, Zomato, FinTech, Agritech, EduTech, all these technology combined with the industry. So now all the traditional industries that were there, which means FMCG, BFSI is there, construction is there, manufacturing is there, automobile is there, all these are the traditional industries. Within these industry, with the help of technology and data, by providing a technology and data, a new industry emerged, and we named that industry called application-based industry. So now traditionally you were managing the profile, you were personal manager. 1990 to 2010 you were managing service sector, therefore you become human resource manager, because you were managing, that is, these are the term from service industry, because they are the professional run companies. Now what name can be given after 2010 to human resource manager who are managing a workforce that doesn't belong to them? Swiggy employees, Zomato employees, Ola employees, or maybe let's say all the application based. Baiju now is just on the decline, but Baiju has earned like anything, and it has risen to a very, it captured the market share significantly in no time. So if I put all these industries together, neither similar knowledge of labor laws, or you can say your contract management or the personal management skill is relevant in the same format. modification is required. Similarly, the knowledge you have gained, applied in the service industry, in the traditional sector, is no more relevant, because now you are dealing with a set of employees who are not working directly for you. So you are managing 2-3 sets of employees. The one who are directly working you as a operation team. You talk to any education, edutech employee. So they will say, sir, these are my on-road employee and they are the partners, or they are the service providers. They are the third party employees, but they are playing a significant role in the success of this business model. They don't have Zomato, they don't have headquarters, they don't have corporate office. Swiggy, they don't have the corporate office, they don't have all the traditional headquarters and fixed expenditures. And look at the revenues, how their HR is bringing people, boarding in people, and most important, they are creating a culture of commitment, the culture of excellence, the culture of effectiveness, the culture of a better workplace when the workplace does not exist physically. It is a half physical, half digital. It's a phygital. So now this change actually started to happen from 2010-11 only, but it got magnified in 2020-21 after the arrival of coronavirus and this pandemic, and further leading to the complete lockdown. You see, most of these application and AI enabled or technology enabled business platform, they've grown significantly during pandemic and post pandemic, where people were confined to their home, people were confined to stay in their respective places. So now this was the time when existing business models in all the business domains were questioned. Now, how human resource management tackle that problem? So traditionally, you were managing a core industries employees, the workers. Then you started managing the professionals, the BTech plus MBAs, then MBAs in the service industry. Now you are going to manage the employees, which is a mix of both. The one who are highly qualified, and they all are the knowledge workers. If you see the success of application-based businesses, their core team is engineers, AI expert, cloud computing experts. So they are working from home, or where they are working from their own places. So they are directly affecting these businesses. They are one set of employee. Second, who are in the field, your delivery boys, your Ola drivers, your other staff who is in the field. Third set, who is basically the link between these two, that is called the user-friendly interface provider. These three set of employees are there. Now, even in the formal big organizations, you are managing three set of employees. One who are working from home, the one who are working from office, the one who is having this hybrid work model. So what I'm trying to say, from 1960 to 1990, 1990 to 2000, 2000 to 2020, I divide the whole journey of human resource management into 3-4 parts. So what are the competencies in the 4 parts? First, I say it's a personal. Then I say human resource management. Then I say strategic human resource management from 2010. From 2015 in specific, we started focusing on, there is a new role of HR that is called, which is the new combination of HR because of the business orientation of various businesses and new business model, that is called HRBP, Human Resource Business Partner. So traditionally, file, function, strategic HR. Now you are saying human resource partner, that you are a partner. You are a partner in a project. You are a partner in a company. So how the role of HR has changed? My workforce has changed. My business model has changed. My role of HR has changed. Now they say for compliances, we have a third party. For various other aspects, we have, let's say, attendance, payroll, we have a third party. We will outsource this activity. So then question is what you will do at workplace, because that was the job that you were doing in your 90% of your time. Now company says you are not supposed to do that. So what is the work? So one end, I am giving you the hint how the overall business model has itself changed. which means from brick and mortar to online and AI enabled platform. Traditional lifetime employment to or long-term employment to short-term employment, project-based employment, multiple employment. There is a new concept which has also emerged, and my existing research is on that. Maybe in the next week we are going to submit that paper, is on moonlighting behavior of the employee. So what stance I am taking, I am not considering moonlighting where one employee is supposed to work for multiple employers. So I am not against this concept. Again, as a scholar of strategic human resource management, my responsibility is to come up with the framework where I can tell my all colleagues in the domain of HR under what condition this moonlighting will work in the favor of company, under what condition it will work in the favor of employee. So if I ignore the nuances of this concept, then if I go by just let's say Google knowledge, then I will always say, okay, it is it is a violation of employment contract, it should be stopped and all those things. No, that is a one perspective. That is called a superficial reaction to that problem. This is not a problem. This is going to be a new challenge for the HR domain. So now through research, through consulting, through various interaction with the various HR leaders, we have developed a framework that will be published in next 4 or 5 months in the top journal. So just briefly, I can't go deeper into that given the paucity of time, and even the webinar is not around that, but still I thought it's relevant to discuss. So now we are saying, who owns your knowledge? Who owns your knowledge? It's you or company? That is the first question we ask. Second, your knowledge stock has increased after joining the company or it remains same? In that way, we have question around 10 to 20 questions to the employee. And then finally, we put in the framework that if knowledge is created within the team, within the project, within the organization, through the work processes, through the kind of assignment company has given you, through various exposures which company has given you, then we do the economic analysis of that. And based on that, we comment whether moonlighting is good or bad. What I'm trying to say here is, this is only one of the problems which I am highlighting, and that requires a serious investigation. There are multiple issues at workplace. Many organizations now strictly say we don't want hybrid worker. Let's say all my workforce today or tomorrow, especially those who are knowledge workers, says, no, we want only hybrid work. So can we say no to the talent and compromise on the success of the organization? We can't do that. We can't afford. Is this a sustainable practice? The answer is no. Let's say my employee say, I want to work only part-time. Let's say my young talent, the Generation Z, we should not forget the arrival of Generation Z, those who are born in 2001. So those who are born in 2001, they are ready to join your workforce, and in a small number, they have already joined. Imagine 15 years later, they will be in the middle management and they will be in the responsible positions. What you will do in that case? So arrival of technology, arrival of new type of business model, and emergence of various type of work arrangement, which I have mentioned, work from home, hybrid and all. If I combine these three, and fourth most important, changing expectations of the employees. I don't want full-time employment. I don't want retirement benefits. And if in the offer letter you are mentioning that your basic salary is 40% and then this is your retirement benefit, I'm not interested, because I say I want cash in hand more because of my lifestyle, because of my requirement. So therefore, mapping the changing need of business model, and then changing workforce expectation, a new age HRM practices is required. And that new age HRM practices is called alignment of business practices or alignment of business expectations and work arrangement realities with the work approach of young generation and expectation of the new age employee. Policies, practices has to be reconsidered. That reconsideration requires a strategic orientation on the part of human resource managers, the new age managers, the upcoming CHROs. My question then is, are you ready to map these two emerging domain, expectations of business, expectation of employee? And I have given you the brief pointers how the has evolved from core industry to application based industry, how from full-time employment to short-term employment. This is the journey which as a HR professional, as a business manager, we all have traveled. And you can say this is not only the juncture of the time where we are questioning the status of HR. We have been questioned in all phases. When we were personal manager, people questioned, we became functional HR. Then further business requirement change, we became strategic HR. Then further business model change to AI based, we became HRBP. Now we are saying, can business manager and HR manager co-create a value for the organization? So now we are talking about partnership between business manager and HR manager in the changing work scenario. So this now, if the business has changed, expectations of employee have changed, or it is in the phase of changing, my curriculum has to be revised. My knowledge in the domain of HR has to be revised, because you all have studies in your textbook. The role of a HR is to follow the direction of business manager. Whatever your business manager says, let I require 10 people. You arrange the 10 people. Why instead of asking you to fill those 10 positions, they can't go outside to the vendor? They can say we need 10 people and there are n number of manpower planning company that can provide that services to your business manager. What is your importance? Why people will actually give you CHRO position? Which means all the strategic aspects of HR. So what is the strategic aspect of HR? Who can gauge, judge, assess the changing dynamics and levers of business? Which means, are you able to understand the business model of your company? So the beginning of my discussion or conversation with any of the participants of any of my programs, the first question I always ask to it. So many a time when my participant actually attend my program, they always say, sir, are you teaching business or you are teaching HR? I think I am teaching human resource management who are having a business acumen. Because if you don't have business acumen, then how you can fulfill the requirement of a business? Let's say you are a logistic company and you have worked throughout, let's say, consulting firm. Now your HR concept, recruitment, compensation, performance management, selection, career management remains same, which is written in the textbook and you practice in the, let's say, consulting domain. But the way consulting industry works and the way logistic industry works, both are entirely different. In a consulting, it's a project-based industry where partner or consultant drives the whole business. So I asked two questions. Who brings business and how he brings business? If you can answer these two questions, you are a strategic manager. Simple question I am asking all of you. In a consulting, who brings business? You can say, okay, consultant goes into the market, they pitch for the consulting project and they bring the business. Then the second question is, how they bring business? What they don't have product, what they are selling? They are selling the knowledge. Whose knowledge? Their own knowledge, their own skill set. And you will be surprised to know there is a litmus test for it, that who brings the business. Anyone who is bringing the business, when that employee will leave, automatically business will go with them. So it is said in the consulting firm, if a partner or a director of the organization is leaving, they actually take away business along with them. You know why? Client has not opted for a brand. Client has not opted for a one particular brand image. They have actually, they got influenced by the knowledge, skill, experience of that particular partner or consultant. They had belief in that particular knowledge. They are the knowledge workers. So managing consultant versus, let's say, managing a delivery boys, both require different set of HR practices. Now for consultant, what you do, whatever business they bring, a certain percentage of that is shared with. There is no 9 to 5. There is no monitoring for them. There is no supervisor or skip level boss. It's in terms of business, how much business, and you will be surprised they work for more than what you say 10 hours, 20 hours, or 10 hours, 12 hours. The reason is because they know more I work, more I provide good services to the client, more business I will earn. And if business is growing, percentage of that is my compensation over and above fixed salary. Automatically they will work without any monitoring. Versus, let's talk about construction, let's talk about manufacturing, let's talk about any core industry which is a process oriented, where work is divided into n number of departments, n number of work group. Task interdependency between one department, other department is very high. Planning department will plan, designing will design, shop floor worker will assemble. Within the shop floor also, every worker will do one part of that. So one worker can't do A to Z. So managing this type of workforce and managing those self-directed, self-motivated workforce requires different set of HRM practices in terms of compensation, in terms of their performance management, in terms of their career aspirations. So HR skills and competency will be both entirely different in these two sectors. So basically, the strategic human resource management teaches you, do you have the knowledge of sectoral differences? Sectoral differences, how consulting firm works, how your IT sector works, how your construction sector works, how your application-based businesses work, how these freelancers are working. So once you understand these sectors, you will understand the business model. And once you understand the business model, then you will also understand who is the critical role holder in these business models. If you go to diamond industry, all the workers who actually are into cut and polish of the diamond, they are the critical role holder, because the value of the diamond cut and polish depends on how the worker has cut and polish. So same worker who is working in diamond industry is a critical role holder, and same worker is a normal blue collar worker in, let's say, any steel making company, any manufacturing company, and getting salary of 25,000 to 30,000. And diamond industry, they must be getting 50,000 to 1 lakh to 5 lakh rupees per month. So same worker, same qualification, with the change of the business model and context, suddenly the whole scenario has changed. So the HR department is fool in the diamond industry that they are paying so much of salary to the worker? Answer is no. That is called adaptation of the HRM practices in the context of changing business model. Simple question that you are supposed to answer in the strategic human resource domain is, who brings business? What is my business model? That's all. Now, to align the human resources with the requirement of business, you need information, you need framework. To design the policy, you should be having some basis. That basis in the today's context, because of the application, the technology, now we are talking about industry 4.0, AI, we have lots of data, which was not there 20 years back. Now you have big data on HR. Every organization measures. You have pulse survey, you have engagement survey, you have attrition data, you have reneg data, then you have a selection data, you have training and development data, you have compensation data, you have a performance data. So you collected all these data in 1960, 70 as well on the paper. Then in the internet and the computer in 1990s and 2000. Now, unfortunately or fortunately, you are capturing this data into AI and AI enabled tool. Now you can understand, the moment you visit one website, the marketer will show you the similar product. Similar level of AI intervention and adoption in the AI is happening at a rapid pace. So if my HR is not equipped with the one and the business model, the second, the new age data set which is available. So many times you don't realize your importance and your strength. And data is going to be the source of competitive advantage for the coming 10-15 years for all HR professional. Otherwise, you are out of this context. Means all the business managers are out of the business if you don't have the analytics and strategic mindset. Now, organization says, the board says simple. What is my cost center and what is the ROI on HR? One of the recent consulting assignment which I have taken up is calculating the ROI on the training. And you will be surprised to know Can you ever imagine any sugar mill company thinking about calculating the ROI on training and development 20 years back? Imagine if a IT company says, you will say, okay, they have a data, they can do this, they have sophisticated HRM practices. But sugar mill company, which is supposed to be a traditional industry today, talking about calculating ROI on training and development, public sector units talking about ROI on the investment, you can understand the need of the NR. The need of NR is the combined weapon that each and every HR professional should have in the today's environment is analytics and strategic mindset. So that was the whole overall conversation that I wanted to have, and given the paucity of time, because we have already crossed our time, so this is what I had to discuss with you all. That hope you got the some the relevant insights. What is going to be in the coming year? What are the challenges we all will face in the coming year, and how we can equip ourselves with those two things which I have mentioned. The strategic mindset, traditional mindset of HR is not going to take you anywhere in any industry. I gave you the example of sugar mill, and you can understand how the dynamics and landscape of HR is completely going to change. Therefore, sector-wise knowledge of same concept, data analytics, and decoding the science of business model. These are the three competencies which you should equip yourself through various program, wherever you are getting the knowledge, you should grab it. That's all from my side. Thank you so much. Yes, Pritesh, you can take it forward.
Thank you so much, Professor Jha. Thank you so much for walking us through the HR journey and shift of traditional HR to new age HR. And of course, the two weapons, analytics and strategy, which is the need of the hour. So we also, believe that every HR who is there in the industry should acquire the knowledge into both these domains, because this is the need of the hour. So I will now quickly walk you all through a small presentation wherein we will discuss about the program outline. So Professor Jha has spoken about so many things, in the webinar today. So we are going to cover. So this is the glimpse of, the program which we are going to, start next month, in the month of November. So there is a program in strategic and analytics HR. So I'll just quickly walk you through, a small presentation. Then we will come to question and answer round as well. So I'm just, sharing my screen here so that, I can share the details here. So today's webinar was on strategic HR and analytics, the hallmark of future-focused HR leadership, and why it is the hallmark. Professor Jha has definitely walked us through it, and we as an HR, whatever we have learned through our post-graduation and graduation days, a lot of things have changed, as Professor has already walked us through it, the journey of the HR, how analytics came in the picture and all. So I'll just quickly walk you through the details of the course. The program which we are doing is Executive Development Program in Advanced Strategic HR and Advanced Strategic HR and Analytics for HR leaders. So this is a 7 months program, and the eligibility for criteria for the program is that you should be HR professional with at least 7 years of work experience after your graduation. So eligibility is that graduation participants with graduation degree with 7 years of work experience can join this session. So this is a short duration 7 months program. All the classes will happen live and online except 3 days of campus immersion. So there will be 3 days of campus immersion towards the end of the program. So the program is starting from 9th of November next week, and the registrations for the program is open till 31st of October. All the sessions will happen on every Saturdays, 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. These will be live sessions, interactive sessions. Professor Jha, along with his colleagues, respected faculty members of XLRi will be taking the session. So the total program fee will be 1,77,000 rupees plus 18% GST, and the application fee is 27,000. You can pay the rest of the entire program fee in installments as well. So,
So this 27,000 is included in the 1,77,000.
correct. So
So
one lakh
overall fee is
77.
1,77,000. Yes.
Correct. Thank you
Yes.
for notifying this.
No
So
problem.
77,000 is the total program fee, which includes the registration fee as well. So this is the uh, background of the program which we are doing. Now we will also, after this webinar, we will be also sharing you the program brochure, wherein you will see the detailed course content. Meanwhile, if you want to see the course content, I have also shared the link of our website where you can see all the details, and you can also post your query over there. And our academic counselors, they will reach out to you with the program details. Now we will move to the question and answer round. So I can see, Professor Jha, there are many questions which are there in the chat box. So we'll take the questions one by one. So the first question is from Anjum Safi. Sir, could you please emphasize on the AI tools as HR and L&D professional use?
Yes, basically, if you see at this moment, there are the two domains where AI is widely used. One is the selection and recruitment, and in particular selection, and second is training and development. So there are multiple AI platforms which is available in these two domains. But what is the challenges that most of the, because one of the participant has asked what is the challenge in manufacturing industry. One of the challenges to apply the AI is data in the right format. Because there is a research which one of my doctoral student has concluded the last year, adoption of AI in the domain of HR. What she found in her study is when we talk to various vendors of AI, those who provide AI platform in HR, they say we are ready to provide the solution. The problem that most of the companies are facing now is they don't have data in the desired format. And AI cannot work without the data. And when we say the generative AI, which means you should have a data in abundance or big data is required, so that from within the data, let's say for last 50 year, 20 year, you have a selection data. What generative AI can do? Or let's say training and development. You might have given, let's say 20 or 30 training programs conducted per year. Multiply this 30 with, let's say 30 years. Now it will give you a total number, which is a very simple analytics. But what AI can do? AI can actually map the trend in the last 30 years, which program had what kind of impact, what kind of trend, what kind of relevance, what was repeated, which department got the more within a, what you say, 1 second. That is called generative. So you have a data set. So if you apply your mind and then you do the analytics, that is called HR analytics. But when AI, where data is stored, when the AI generates the information for you from the same data set which is there for analytics, that is called generative AI. So generative AI has not been used much in the domain of HR, but there is a huge scope of generative AI. But for that, your HR need to have an analytics mindset. So you can say analytics and strategic mindset is the pre-requirement to go for AI stage. If you have not crossed this stage, then AI will not. Otherwise, what will happen? The way Amazon has, experienced a problem in selection when they were Amazon AI was screening out a certain set of applications, because in their all the decision there were biases, because all the managers, HR manager, they were deliberately, when they were doing manually and using the technology, they were screening out certain set of application based on the ethnic group and gender. AI also learned from that. That is called a generative AI. AI also learned from that particular trend. And when they used AI in screening of the application, that biases got magnified in that process as well. And then finally, it was a big news that then they discarded the AI processes. Then they went back to the data. They corrected the data. Then did the analytics, and then finally the adoption of AI is there. So that is the requirement. Therefore, I'm saying it's a need of an hour to have an analytical mindset. Otherwise, information interpretation from the same data will be little difficult, even if we are using the advanced AI tools and techniques.
Right, right, sir. So I think we have answered the question of Dr. Narendra Kumar and Anjum Safi. So the next question we have is from Rajesh Kumar. What will be the role of generative AI in HR, future HR practices?
As I mentioned, like whole your compensation analytics, performance management system, the performance analytics, then you have selection analytics, then you have your training and development, ROI calculation, investment calculation, suggestion. Like for example, when you visit any page, once you have visited, that shows, this is the product of your choice. Similarly in HR, when you will scroll down through your LMS, it will suggest this is the time to upgrade your skill set. Why don't you choose this course? And it's a way back that you have done this assessment for your competency. Why don't you go for this? So it will be that level of HRM system in the organization in coming year, which means HR manager won't call you, business manager won't call you for taking up various courses and various assessment. It is the system that will guide you.
Thank you, Professor. The next question we have is from Nanda Kumar. How does the AI tool helps in selecting the right candidate for a particular role? So would you like to
It depends on the levels. Again, I am saying it depends on the level. For example, 2013 onwards, the Vodafone used to have a selection tool for their psychometric that is called the video call. Video call was a AI enabled that used to capture. So a question will appear on the screen and then candidate is supposed to answer. So the way you are answering, depending upon the moment of your or the size of your, how the size of the retina is shrinking. So we call it, there is a specific, we use in our behavioral lab as well, how frequently your eyes are blinking, how the size of the retina is growing or shrinking after listening a question or answering a question, how your face expressions are changing. If you go to the hotel and even the main counter nowadays, there is a equipment called mood detector. So you press your finger, they will tell you what is the mood of this thing. So what I'm trying to say is, in a psychometric assessment was the first step of introduction of all these AI tool in the HR domain, and you can imagine the scope of AI in the other processes as well.
Sir, how to measure EQ in candidate employees for service industry?
It is a sensory moment.
Okay.
Your emotional intelligence is the function of your sensory reaction. Many a time your words are different, your senses say different. Many times you are scared, but you are saying, okay, no, I'm confident, I'm not, but your words are not captured. So your emotions, how your respiratory emotions. For example, recently I talked to the Adani group. I was teaching the disciplinary, how you do the disciplinary counseling and all those things. All were the senior level employees. So what I actually taught them, let's say if I throw a duster towards you, there are two types of reaction. First, one, the natural process of your brain. Any signal comes, there is a component in your brain called amygdala. So your sensor captures the the sensors capture the object. It sends the signal to amygdala, and then finally through the process it gives the reaction. It's a long process. But when I say I'm throwing the duster on you, you will immediately move away from that object because anticipating the threat there. Now there are certain reaction which is directly coming from amygdala. It is not going through the whole long process. So how my brain reacts and receive that information, it is actually a well-developed domain in the emotional intelligence field. So based on that, I come to know, okay, what is the true reaction of the individual? What is the true understanding and emotion of the individual? And then I make the selection decision and process. I give you a situation test. Then you are put in front of that scanner. Based on your sensory moment, how you are receiving, how you are reacting, how your respiratory moment, moments are there, I can easily capture what is your reaction to that question. That is how it happens. It's advanced and well-established field.
Thank you, sir. So next question is from Prema. My perception is analysis is done without any error by the AI, then HR.
No, as I gave the example of Amazon, it's not like that.
Hmm.
You can say efficiency will improve, but AI will use the same data. If there is a problem in data, then chances are very high to get that error magnified. But of course, the accuracy and speed will be more in the AI.
Okay.
Therefore, first one should understand what is data, what is HR data, what is HR data analytics, what is the structure of HR data, then we should come to AI.
Right. Okay, sir. I think we have a last question here. Can we identify skill gap through HR analytics and get an effective training program also? Will we learn about employee turnover metrics to improve retention strategies?
Yes, it is a doable. The reason is all the conversation or the themes which I have discussed in this class. I'm sure there are most of the things because with the experience, 10, 20 years of experience in the industry, many of these things you might have heard in the bits and pieces. But these type of formal training or formal conversation can structure your thoughts and to become a, so I can say now it's a three-step. First, you have to understand the business, which means the strategic mindset. Second, only then you can understand what is the need of the data. And the third, you can go to the AI and HR. These are the three stages of development of a human. So you can categorize your workforce into three parts. The one who understand the business, the one who understand what is the information and data I need to take informed decision in the strategic domain of the company in the with regards to the business, and third, then choosing the right application of AI for taking all those decisions. So these are the three stages of development of a CHRO.
Okay. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you for
I
walking
think
us.
Thank you so much.
anyone who would like to ask any question, live by unmuting, they can also speak up. I mean, you can directly ask a question to Professor Jha also as well, right? So we have, I think, taken up all the chat queries here. But anybody who wants to speak up here on in forum can raise their hand and you can speak. Okay, I have a specific query, Professor Jha. This is
Yes, Mr. Pallav.
Yeah, this is in favor of everyone actually. So, HR deals with multiple functionalities, starting from generalist HR to various function in compliance and other aspects also, even legal. So, how relevant will this program be for cross-function approach, So will that be
So,
relevant for everyone?
yes, it is relevant because I always say to become expert in HR analytics, you are not supposed to have background in stat, math, or analytics. I simply say anyone who knows their business model and they have a query how I can improve my business and this is the information I need. Then simply what you can say, for example, if I know my business and if I know who is contributing more in this particular business, so automatically I can think about what can be the compensation plan, what can be the incentive plan. Then even if I don't know the analytics, then I can ask someone who is actually expert in analytics. But at least you should be ready with those requirements. And therefore, if you see the design of the program is like that, that first we will develop the business acumen in the human resource manager, and that is the biggest area. Therefore, I always say the myopic view of human resource manager is what? That you are only following what your business manager is saying. So now I am saying no, you have to come together with the business manager on the same table, and then you discuss why they are telling you what this is my requirement. You bring such people. You are not a manpower company or manpower provider. That can be done by anyone. So you actually discuss and debate there. In this business model, this is the competency required, how we can rationalize it. So then what data is required to answer that business manager query, that is the analytics part which comes there. So therefore cross-functional knowledge to get into this program will be definitely handy and important.
Yes, and I agree with you fully, and I think very well put that in order to go the next mile, in the next era, it will be very,
Correct.
important to have a proper hang on with, analytics, uh,
Analytics is some
with a
must. Yeah.
progressive mindset, because then otherwise growth will be a kind of a stagnant parameter for everyone. And I think it's a very, very essential, point at this point in time, that you upgrade, upskill yourself and keep up to the
Correct.
market demands. So thank
Correct.
you for your
Correct.
insights. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other queries? I know any queries from any of our advisors, or anyone who have joined into the forum, any specific query I mean, we have still about, 2-3 minutes, so we can respond. I think Pritish is also flashing the numbers, the contact details here, so all of you can note down. These are the inbound numbers of our academic advisors whom you can reach out to. And you will also receive the details of the program soon. And alternatively, you can reach out to Pritish or the academic advisors at these numbers. The email ID is also mentioned here. So I think we already, Pritish will also share with you that we already have a large cohort who is waiting for the batch to start. Already, we have quite a handful, few set of people who have already joined the program. And I think this batch is going to be one of the good, healthy batches. People from diversified portfolios have already committed to the program. And we are into the final formative stages of the batch. So you need to act quick and grab your seat. We just have few seats left here. So I think the earlier you actually, commit to the program, it's better. So as Pritish has pointed out, that we will be starting the program from November, early November. So, you need to be ready with your, kind of engagements and the documentation and everything that is required. So our counselors will guide you that what is the next step and how to go about it. Right?
Right, Pulak.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you, Pulak.
Yes. And thank you, Professor Jha, for taking your time out of this of your busy schedule. You already have multiple, full-time classes, but I think you accepted all our invitation to come in and address this, audience. So, and thank you, audience, for rendering your, time also for this webinar. I'm sure you would have gained some insights from this webinar today, and we would like to see you as a part of the program as we go forward. Right?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.